They throw it. Oh, it's intercepted. Murphy, touchdown, Arizona. Byron Murphy. The Jaguars get cute and get knocked out on that play.
Love those highlights. We love the stars. So it's time to talk brightest stars, presented by our friends at Oakley, who sent us these awesome shades. Here's what we do here, Matt Castle. We go around and we sort of call our shot on who we think will shine the brightest or who we think needs to in any given week. It's week 4, Peter. Who you got?
I'm always here for hyperbole and exaggeration, especially before we even hit week 4. And I'll say this. Tom Brady, it's Tom Brady week. He went 199th. I think a lot of people would agree that that was a mistake in the draft. Micah Parsons went 11th. I think everyone should be kicking themselves for not taking him.
Free fall to 11.
He free fall to 11.
You're not
Micah
wrong.
Parsons is unbelievable, and watching him every week, he gets better and better. It's crazy to see how his game continues to improve in his rookie season. Now, he didn't even play last year because he sat it out due to the COVID-19 situation. Comes onto the field, starts off as a linebacker week 1, and in the last 2 weeks has played defensive end and has been an absolute terror. They play the Carolina Panthers, an undefeated team, in their own building this weekend. And I know that we want to talk Sam Darnold and DJ Moore and Robbie and Chuba Hubbard's going to be in the backfield. I think it's going to be a Micah Parsons game. That defense is so improved from last year. All credit goes to Dan Quinn in the front office for bringing in the right folks. But I think 10 teams, even the ones who took quarterbacks, should be kicking themselves. This guy looks like he's Chase Young and more. He's that good. Micah Parsons through 1 month. And I know Asante Samuel Jr. won NFL Defensive Rookie of the Month. I might ask for a revote on this one. Micah Parsons has that Cowboys defense playing. So Micah, 1 o'clock Eastern game against the Panthers at home. I can't wait to watch him. He's my favorite star of the week.
11th overall pick, huh?
Free fall, slide.
The Falcons could use him right now, couldn't
think.
they?
Oh, yeah.
They want another guy.
Amongst others.
How about a quarterback? I'll go with a quarterback as my brightest star. Would you be interested in a quarterback who right now is passer rating, the best measure of a quarterback, is higher than Mahomes, Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, and Josh Allen, and is in top 5 in all the major passing categories? Kirk Cousins, yes, the Minnesota Vikings, has played better than all of those guys. He has not been good. He has not been great. He has been excellent. And here's where I come out. Kirk Cousins is a very easy target for a lot of different reasons, many of them self-imposed. A lot of people like making fun of Kirk Cousins. A lot of people like have issues with Kirk Cousins. That's fine. But when he plays well, turn it around and hype him. No one is playing quarterback right now in the league better than Kirk Cousins. And if you watch that Vikings-Cardinals game, Kirk Cousins said, I got this. I'm going to go right down the field to set up a game-winning field goal that the Vikings proceeded to blow and miss. He's off to the best start of his career. It makes me wish if they had some of those Zimmer defenses from maybe a couple of years ago, the Vikings would be looking at it as a legit NFC contender, not NFC North. They play at home this weekend against the Browns. It's Baker versus Cousins. Get your jokes, get your memes, get whatever you want, but just get your butt in front of the TV and watch Kirk Cousins, because there's not a better quarterback playing in the league right now than him.
You like that?
I love that. I love everything that he's saying, because I love that. Are you kidding me? I mean, Kirk Cousins, the way he's performed, like you said, all the stats support it, but everybody's always dogging this guy. I don't understand why. They never give him where credit's due, and he deserves all the credit in the world for what he's done.
I mean, regular season games, he's crushing it. Week in, week out for my fantasy team, crushing it. It's when you get into those other games, the ones that really matter, that those criticisms come out. But totally love that you're giving him love from a fantasy perspective. Pick him up and play him. Okay, I'm going to go to a place where things are getting very messy very quickly. Seattle. This team has, this Seattle squad has never started 1-3 under Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has been there a very long time, so to take another pun into this situation, not dangerous, how about miraculous? Like, that's the level that we're at. And he's playing well, you guys. He has 7 touchdowns. He has no interceptions. He's averaging 300 yards a game. The defense hasn't been as good as it was the second half of last year. We thought that was just going to happen. We thought, hey, let's get Shane Waldron in here. The results have been mixed. Russell Wilson has been this sort of lone, consistent spot on this team on both sides of the ball. I don't know what it is that he can do. I just know that this is like savior season, rescue mode. Unfortunately, there's no margin of error in the NFC West, and it's the Niners this week. You have to beat the Niners, and you have to be the brightest star on the field. And it's fired up. I don't know. You don't Seattle at the bottom of the NFC West. You don't see that.
Stupid.
He's 8-1 in their first games against the 49ers. And this is a game they got to win. This is it.
Don't let this, is Russ gonna get traded, nonsense. This stuff's gonna start if you lose. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to deal with it. Russ, do your thing. And the rest of the team, help him out.
Yeah, just help him out, right? A little bit of defense here and there for Seattle might really do. Oh, man, it would be fun to watch that. All right, the person I'm going with is Darren Waller. Okay, I know everybody wants to talk about the quarterback position, but I think that this guy will shine bright. Look at him right here. He's at the tight end position, but this is, when you talk about Darren Waller, you talk about the versatility that he has. He's such a big guy. He's a huge target. Derek Carr trusts him. He's already had 33 targets. Right here, he's on the outside. He's able to work the slant, get, again, big body, big target. This is last week against Miami. And then he goes back inside right here for another great reception. But there's a lot of trust and there's a lot of chemistry here. And then watch him turn on the wheels right here. Whoop! Goodbye. Yeah, goodbye. Like, he is just so dynamic in his skill set, right? You very rarely get a guy that is so big and at the same time can run the way that he can go up in high point. And now that they've got some weapons around him too, like Hunter Henry, I mean, and then Hunter Renfrow, sorry, Henry Ruggs. I mean, and these guys, they can't just focus on him as the main guy and as a target, right? They've got to say, okay, we've got to pay attention to this guy. They've got a run game as well, and he can go out and shine bright. And I think he'll have a really big game this week against the Chargers.
You could pick any NFL player. You're never on the show. What made you? What was the process of choosing Darren Waller?
Well, you guys said look,
who's going to have a great game?
Like I would
star power.
Yeah,
no,
star
I love
power.
this.
I just love the fact that, like, when you watch these games and you watch the success that the Oakland Raiders have had, he's a big component of that.
I love it.
And so I was just thinking outside the box, right? I could easily go with any quarterback in the league because the quarterback's the only guy that touches the ball every single time, right? And we could easily do that. But I wanted to pick an individual. And, you know, you've got guys like Travis Kelce, you got guys like Kittle. But I think Darren Waller is one of those special, unique talents as well that is maybe not seen in that same caliber, but I think he is that same caliber.
It's well said. The producer just said there's a yacht that just pulled into the marina.
Okay. That's probably Jared and Trent. I think they just threw down all cash. All cash
They just ran into another boat. They were out all night apparently. There's Coast Guard's after them.
I think the FBI is going to own that boat by the end of the month.
There's a lot going on here. Do not go anywhere.
Let's go check it out.
With Matt Castle. The stage is set for the reunion game in New England on Sunday. We'll get into his head about that. And up next, Cynthia Freeland will break down why Mac Jones may struggle against that Bucs defense. Mike Tirico, Jerome Bettis on the way. We'll set your slate of action for Sunday. Have fun, guys.
Let's go. Are you ready for all that and much more on NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern?
And, you know, we'll be watching. Rich, of course, thank you for watching Good Morning Football. I'm Will Selva. And, yes, we know it's week 4. But it really feels like a Super Bowl matchup with all the hype surrounding Tom Brady's return to Foxborough, and of course, with good reason. But let's not forget, Rob Gronkowski also homecoming for him, although he did not practice Thursday for a second straight day as he deals with a rib injury. Now, Gronk spending 9 years in New England with Brady. As we know, if Gronk is able to play, their former teammate, Patriots corner Devin McCourty, knows his team will have to worry about a lot more weapons than just the two former Patriots.
He's not lost. Mike Evans isn't lost. Godwin, Antonio Brown, Brait, O.J. Howard, Fournette, you know, Jones, to me, they're not lost. But, I mean, to the media, yeah, I mean, all you guys got to write about is Tom all week. So, I mean, but I think for us, there's a host of really good players over there. So, no, I don't think, you know, anyone's lost for us.
It's a long list, Devin. Of course, one of the players he mentioned, Antonio Brown, was activated from the reserve COVID-19 list on Thursday. He takes the roster spot of fellow wideout Scotty Miller, who was placed on injured reserve earlier this week. Brown has 6 catches for 138 yards and a score in 2 games this season. More from the Bucs, as earlier this week, they presented more than $50,000 in new technology to teachers at Young Middle Magnet School in East Tampa. The donation included more than 100 new devices that will help teachers and students bridge the digital divide and really enhance the learning experience at the Title I school that specializes in STEM curriculum. Elsewhere, running back Marlon Mack and the Colts mutually agreeing to seek a trade earlier this week. Mack, coming off a torn Achilles last season, is currently third on the Colts depth chart behind Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines. Mack is in his 5th season, but he's only 25 years old, so he wants to make sure he gets one more shot to be the man.
Part of the business, as a running back, they see you. They say I'm an old man already, but I'm only 25, so that's why I was like, man, I got to go out there and get it now, because next year the team's going to be like, yeah, I don't want that old running back in there. I'm only going to be 25 still, but they be like, he's an old guy, so I got to go out there. Find somebody who want me.
Yeah, still a young guy. Speaking of running backs, friend of the show, LeSean McCoy officially calling it a career after 12 seasons in the NFL. He ends his career with more than 11,000 rushing yards and 75 rushing touchdowns for the Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, and Bucks. McCoy will sign a one-day deal with the Eagles. He, of course, spent 6 seasons in Philadelphia. Of course, his career ended with a couple of Super Bowl titles as well. But, Kay, we're all happy for LeSean McCoy making it official. Absolutely wild, the fact that he finished his career with 2 Super Bowl rings.
Yes, with Kansas City, with the Buccaneers, though he didn't play in the game, respectively. He ends his career with 73 touchdowns. He ends it inside the top 25 as far as rushing is concerned, and he is well inside, I would say, the top 15 as far as Good Morning Football guests. He was universally liked, very confident, very cool character, and I always liked when he stopped by. So congrats to you, Shady. Enjoy retirement. And come sit at our breakfast table. We've got room. Thanks so much, Will. We've got lots to look forward to here on the show. Mike Tirico is joining the program. We will have Jerome Bettis hanging out with us. Oh, he's just pure joy. So stay tuned for that. But as week 4 on Sunday approaches, our analytics expert, Cynthia Freeland, the brain. I'm Pinky. She is the brain, and she is here to give us some projections for what will happen this weekend. It is time for Sin City, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
After 3 weeks of the NFL season, we're close to a large enough sample size to develop strong takeaways, which we can use to predict future outputs. Here are 5 projections for week 4 based on findings through 3 weeks.
Brady steps up, avoids the rush, throws, caught, touchdown.
We're all fired up to see Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and the Buccaneers travel to New England to square off with the Patriots. But let's look at the other side of the ball, where I have Mac Jones projected to throw for fewer than 257.5 yards. Even though they're banged up, look for the Buccaneers to clamp down Sunday night against a Patriots offense without an elite playmaker.
Chase, sack.
Even though he's crossed that number in 2 of 3 games this season, Jones has not been effective pushing the ball downfield. His completion percentage on passes of 10-plus air yards is the 2nd lowest in the league, according to Next Gen Stats.
Got room at the 5, angling for the end zone. Touchdown!
I project the 0-3 Colts to get their first win of the season Sunday in Miami. Look for Indianapolis to rely on Jonathan Taylor in the run game, leading to a lower scoring game. This game goes under 42.5 total points in 57.9% of simulations.
Mayfield guns it, and it is right on target.
Kevin Stefanski forecasts to leverage the pass against his former team. This leads to my projection for Baker Mayfield to have more than 250.5 yards passing. The Vikings have allowed 9.2 yards per play this season. That's the 2nd most in the league, only behind the Detroit Lions.
Murray dives for the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown.
Kyler Murray hasn't had a big game on the ground yet this season, but I predict that to change on Sunday, as I have him projected for more than 35.5 yards rushing against the Rams. Expect Kyler to scramble to elude Aaron Donald and that Los Angeles pass rush. Andy Reid returns to Philadelphia on Sunday with a 1-2 team looking to get back on track. I believe that happens and the Chiefs pick up the win, but I project the game to have fewer than 54 total points.
I'm all the wiser. Thanks so much, Cynthia. Took notes there. I've got them ready for Sunday.